Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Our group will be presenting on the movie Back to the Future. In this 1980s sci-fi classic, small-town California teen Marty McFly is thrown back into the 50s when an experiment by his eccentric scientist friend Doc Brown goes awry. Traveling through time in a modified DeLorean car, Marty encounters young versions of his parents, George and Lorraine, and he must make sure that they fall in love or he will cease to exist. Even more dauntingly, Marty has to return to his own time and save the life of Doc Brown. We have found one major organizational behavior related issue, which is decision making by the main characters throughout the movie. Now, let's dive deeper into this issue.
One of the OP-related issues in the movie is decision-making. The first issue regarding the decision-making is uncertainty. For instance, one of the scenes in the movie illustrates George McFly's lack of confidence to ask Lorraine, his future wife, to the school dance even though he has already made the decision to date her from Marty's convincing methods. Furthermore, uncertainty in decision-making is found in the scene at the car park. George lacked the ability and the power to stop beef from harassing Lorraine. Despite that, in the end, he did step up the plate and knocked Beef right off his feet. Another issue regarding the decision making is time constraints. This can be seen in the scene where Marty wanted to avoid being killed by the Libyans after the professor has been executed. So he jumped into the DeLorean car and traveled back in time after the car had reached 88 miles per hour. Another scene is where Marty had to be near the clock tower at the right time at about 10:04 p.m. because that's when the lightning strikes the clock tower, thus giving the car the power 1.21 watts to send him back to his timeline. Also, Marty encountered several problems such as being erased from existence and wire displacement, which could have hindered his journey back to the future. But with his courage, dedication, and with the help of Dr. Brown, he managed to get back just in time.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, my name is Muhammad Ilham, and now I will talk about the solution to the issue related. Okay, the issue is that lack of self-esteem will affect our judgment in the decision-making process. One example that can be taken from the movie is the lack of self-confidence in Josh, which makes him afraid to confront the police. As a result, he was humiliated in front of everyone, including his lover, in the cafeteria, due to his poor decision judgment, which was to let Dave continue with his action. So, to overcome the issue of self-confidence, Josh can invest in things that might boost his confidence. Doing exercises is one of the easiest way. Not only it will bring benefits to our health, but it also helps with memory retention, improve focus, helps manage stress, and prevent depression. Okay? Therefore, it is harder to be anxious when there is no excess energy to draw upon from our body. Self-confidence can help in decision making. According to an article wrote by Sorin Dumitrescu, self-confidence is important to decision making because it generates a sense that things are under control and being handled properly. People with high level of confidence tend to challenge themselves more, which helps them achieve more. The second solution, the problem is that there are time constraints in decision making. Okay? One example that can be taken from the movie is that Marty's rash decision, okay, which later on bring unfortunate occurrence when he pressed the time travel button rushingly. So the solution, if we are under pressure of limited time to make decision, is to evaluate the consequences that might follow. Okay, Joel Falconer said that make the best prediction you can as to the outcome of the various options you have at your disposal. So therefore, we need to ask, what are the short-term effects of our rash decision? What are the long-term effects, and will the effects of our decision affect the lives of others and how? Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Now, let's take a look at the issue that affect other characters. First of all, Marty's action have an impact on his family's fate, especially when he see his future dad about to be hit by a car. He then pushed his father out of the way, which determined George's fate with his wife Lorraine. If Marty's mother loved him and married someone other than George, other individuals, especially those in his family members, would gradually fade away in the future. Thus, in order to prevent this from happening, Marty vowed to do whatever it takes to make their parents fall in love with one another again, which ultimately affected the other family members. So, if something like that happens to me, I will do the same thing as Marty did because I don't want other people I care about to be taken away in the future.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Daniel Najmin bin Muhammad Zaman and my metric number is 2018257. Now, I am going to continue with the Islamic perspective. So, the first point is about ijtihad. In this movie, we can see that the main character, Marty, is giving his full effort to give his father the confidence to confess to his mother. This is because his father lacks confidence in making decisions. So, Marty tries to put all of his effort into making her mother fall in love with his father. We as a Muslim, we need to follow Marty because we believe that if we put our effort on something, Allah will help us to ease the thing. The second perspective is related to Maqasid al-Sharia, which is the protection of lineage. As we can see in the movie, Marty tries to avoid her mother from falling in love with him in the past. So, in Islam, we are prohibited to fall in love with our mahram to protect our lineage. In conclusion, in this movie, the lessons that we can learn are that people can change. It is shown by Judge McFly. He shows us that if we can identify our mistakes and our limitations, we can correct them and improve ourselves. The other lesson is in Islam, we learn about Qada and Qadar. We cannot turn back time as everything that we do is already set by Allah. Thus, we just need to follow the right. That's all for our presentation. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.